All right, cool. Hey, tonight we are talking about expanding your network, gaining more customers, gaining more potential hosts, team members, all the things. And Christina's with us tonight, and she is definitely a pro with this. She's moved many times being a military spouse and has had to start over and rebuild every single time. So I'm going to pass it to you, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Hi guys. Wow, there's a lot of you on here today. So I'm going to talk to you guys today about expanding your business. And as Karen said, I am a military spouse and I have moved a lot. I started Scentsy when I lived overseas in Spain. It was very new at that time. I literally joined because there was a group of military spouses that were at a party, and the one girl had Scentsy that her friend had sent her from the States, and she's like, smell this, it's amazing, I love it, it's the best thing ever. And she's passing around these cubes, and I am very, I don't want to say I'm a skeptic, but I am very like, if I like something and somebody tries to change my mind, I don't change my mind well. It takes a while. So at that point, I just bought these Glade plug-in things that I absolutely loved. They were like the spritzers, like when the spritzers first came out. So they would spritz, and I was like, oh no, the Scentsy thing is not better than my Glade. So I was very adamant about not accepting that. So I remember going home, and like 2 days later, a friend of mine on Facebook had a Scentsy party, and I was like, oh, this is that Scentsy again. And I was like, well, you know what? I used it as a business opportunity. I was like, I'm going to join because all these spouses here will buy it if they can smell it. And at that point, they were only able to smell it by whatever my friend's friend in the States sent her. So they couldn't actually smell all the scents. So that was my business plan. I was going to join Scentsy, a company that I still wasn't completely behind. I was going to sell to this. Spain was a very small base, so there was only 100 service members. So there was like a group of us spouses, we knew everybody. So I was going to sell to the spouses of Spain. I was going to make enough money to buy some dresses for an upcoming cruise that we had, and I was going to quit. That was my business plan. I was going to join, make some money, buy my dresses, and then be done with it. So that was in 2010. Obviously, that business plan changed a little bit because I'm still here. So I ended up ordering from my friend's party, and I joined like the next day. I didn't even get my product when I joined. So I joined. My kit came, I believe my kit came before my product that I ordered. And I remember just opening it up and smelling everything. And I was like, oh my God, this smells so good. And like instantly I was in love, and instantly I like threw all my Glade away, and I was 100% Scentsy at that point on. So it was very, my story definitely jumped from it's going to be just a business, a quick business, to long-term. But at that point still, I was like, I don't want to be a director. I don't want to have a team. I don't want any of that. And again, I just, every step of the way, I just kept finding something that I loved about it and continuing on. And then there was also the fact that I'm a very introverted person, and I do not really like groups of people. I get nervous. I don't like being the center of attention like this. So that kind of stuff was very hard on me, because how am I supposed to get customers if I don't like meeting people? And I started off with that little group in Spain, my friends. So I was comfortable with them. So we did parties, and, you know, I got them growing. But then we moved. So our first move was from Spain to Missouri. Once I got to Missouri, I actually had to like work, and I had to find new customers, because at that point I didn't know anybody. And I was very adamant. I didn't want to just like hound my family and my friends with it. I didn't want to expect them to run my business. So I knew that I needed to branch out. So at that point on, I just had to learn how to connect with people, how to make friends, how to make customers, how to expand my business. So that kind of brings me to my topic here today. We're going to talk about, I have 6 steps. I'm sorry, my notes are on my other computer screen. So if I'm looking off to the side, I'm not, that's why. So my training today is going to be 6 steps to expanding your business. I have 6 steps, and we're going to talk about them. I know everybody loves steps. I like steps. I like a good concrete path. So hopefully you guys will get something out of this. So step 1 is meet. you need to meet people. So some ideas: catch up with old friends and customers. This is kind of one that's pretty basic. If you haven't talked to a customer in a while, reach out to them, ask them how they're doing. If you haven't talked to an old friend, now this is not the whole, hey, I went to high school with a friend 30 years ago and I'm going to call and ask her to go have coffee with me and then I'm going to sell her on Scentsy. That's not what this is about. It's about, maybe you talk to somebody on Facebook and you guys have kind of gone back and forth a little bit over the month, but you never really sat and said, hey, how are you? What's new? So this is like reaching out to those people. So I say make a list of 30 people and once a day, contact them. Take 20 or 30 minutes a day, send them a message, give them a call, send them a text, just ask them about their day and don't mention Scentsy. You don't have to talk about Scentsy. If they bring it up, then obviously it's okay. But right now you're just, checking in with them. So, seeing how they're doing. If something's going on in their life, take notes. If, their kid is getting ready to go have surgery or their husband is dealing with something or their family pet is getting sick or anything, like take notes, check back in. If they have a birthday coming up, if they talk about an anniversary, I'm trying to think of more things, like anything that's big in their life coming up, take notes and maybe check back in with them and say, hey, I remember when we talked, you said something about, your birthday was coming up. I just want to wish you a happy birthday or something like that, just to show that you're involved in their life too. So that's a big one. Just meet the people that you already are friends with, that you already have in your network, and just kind of have some quality time, quality conversations with them. All right. Step 2, mingle. This is what gets a little challenging for us introverts. I like to say I'm an introvert trying really hard to be an extrovert. And most people that know me well will tell you that I'm not an introvert, because I am very chatty and I'm very social. It just takes me a while to get there. So mingle, get out there and mingle, hold an event or attend an event. So I love Bunko. So at past spaces, I've hosted Bunko nights. I've hosted Bunko clubs. But some ideas are book club. If you like to read, join a book club. If there's no book club to join, make a book club. Be the leader of it. Like invite people in because people are looking for things to do. Bunko game, a board game group, card games, knitting club, a group exercise class. I joined the Y at our last space, and there's very few people that go every day or every class. So when you go to a class often, you start to make friends because you have maybe 10 of you that are constantly there. So you're constantly seeing them. And then those kind of things, friendships turns into a lot more like, sales or recruits or something. So people buy from their friends. Mommy and me classes, stroller strides, a cocktail club. I don't know, there might be a cocktail club. I can imagine that somewhere out there's a group of women that meet for cocktails. A spouses club, if you're military, I know there's spouses clubs out there. I know there's sometimes a stigma around spouses club, but I'm here to tell you, get over that, because show up. If there's drama in it, just don't pay attention to it. Like find the people that are there for not the drama. So don't let that stop you from going to that kind of stuff. Neighborhood events, a birthday party. If somebody invites you to a birthday party, go. You get to mingle, meet new people, and you get cake. So I say go, but you got to mingle. You got to go to things. If there's nothing to go to, make something, host something, host an event, host something at your house, invite people in. And not just Scentsy people, anybody. Well, not anybody. I guess it depends how social you are and how accepting you are of strangers in your house, I guess. All right, step 3, invite. Host an event and personally invite people. Host an open house, I've done like a Bunko Scentsy party. I've done, bingo Scentsy party, like host an event and invite people, but don't just invite them with Facebook. I know we all hear that. Don't just send it Facebook invites, go out there and meet people, and invite them personally. Invite somebody who you think might make a good consultant to help you either with an event you have or to help you come over and make some samples. Say, hey, I need an assistant for the day. Do you want some free Scentsy? Can you come over and help me with this? Inviting them over will first make them feel good because it makes you then think, oh, she thought of me. She wants to visit with me. That's nice. But it's also a great way to introduce them to the business and what you do and let them see what you do. Invite a friend to lunch. Invite is very important. I'm going to share, not a story, but my husband and I, we love to meet new couples. Like we're always trying to find people to play board games with us. We're big board game people. COVID expanded our collection to like 30 plus 40 games. I think every week we buy more games, but we're always looking for couples to come play with us. And it's really hard to find. And the thing is, we always find couples and we'll invite them to things and say, hey, come over, play games with us. And they have so much fun. I think they do. I mean, they enjoy it. And they're like, yeah, let's do this again. But they never invite us to do anything. But if we invite them, they're all for it. Like they're excited, but they never invite us. So I really think like sometimes inviting someone to do something, like everybody wants to be invited to something. So sometimes you being the person to go invite people really makes a difference. So whether it's a party or going out to lunch or something, anything like that, like, make that initiative to say, hey, I know you always invite me to things. So I just want you to know I appreciate it. I like your friendship, but let me invite you to something. And that will go a long way with them. All right. Sorry, I need a drink. I talk fast when I get nervous. I'm not even nervous. All right. Step 4, share. Share tips on social media. Start a channel exclusively for sharing tips. I will not tell you how many times I've been scrolling Instagram, Facebook, Reels, and you see people that are just teaching you how to make Reels. Like you're really scrolling Reels to be taught how to make Reels. So those can be addicting. People be like, oh, I want to know how she does this. And I mean, if you're sharing a tip with your team, might as well make it shareable to public. Who knows who's going to see that and be like, this is interesting. Maybe I can do this. So if you have that personality that draws people in, like start a channel just for tips for your business, like how to be successful in direct sales, how to be, something that like is not specifically Scentsy, but direct sales and like your Scentsy business. So maybe the business side of you, but share that with people and you never know who you're going to draw in that way. All right. Step 5 is serve. So get out there in the community and give back. Giving back is what Scentsy is all about. So make sure you do that because that is a great way to meet people and to promote your Scentsy business. So, there's soup kitchens, there's homeless shelters, there's animal shelters, volunteer at your church, at your kids' school. So anywhere that you can volunteer to get out there and meet people, that's a great way. And then, you're meeting people. Make meals for people who are going through a hard time. If you know that somebody down the street had a death in their family and you can make them a meal, that's greatly appreciated. Right now, I think half the country's sick. Therefore, if you know somebody's sick, bring them a meal. Like just that little thing, or even just a little basket says, hey, I'm thinking of you. I hope you feel better. Anything like that. If a friend is not having a great day and she's just kind of going off about how she's just, this and that and this, and just, hey, I've been thinking of you. Here's a little something. So those little things matter, and then they're going to make them think of you. All right. Step 6, collaborate. So connect with others in the direct sales community. When I lived in Missouri, I had a group of friends. There was 5 of us, and we all sold something. I think we had Avon, Michi bags. I don't even remember the other ones. But we all sold something different, and we all did events together. So when one person found an event, all 5 of us got in. So literally it was like a phone chain, like, hey, this is an event, sign up, make sure you get signed up real quick. And it was like 5 of us looking for stuff. So we always had our events full, our calendars full with all the stuff that we had. If they were going to go do a party for someone, they'd be like, hey, do you want other people there too? Like that's what we did. We networked together and we almost did everything together for our businesses. And that helped tremendously because it was 4 extra eyes on, looking for things. So collaborate with other direct salespeople. Also, you can learn ideas. You can get ideas from other people and how they run things. You can do events together. Let's see, find people on social media to collaborate with. I've personally done this once. And I know that other people have, where they've had people that they like Scentsy to, and then they will make like a video of it for them. I don't know if it's still a thing. I'm pretty sure it is. A long time ago, I found somebody on YouTube. She was an up-and-comer YouTuber. I don't even know if she's still around, but she had a pretty good following. So I'd sent her a message and just said, hey, have you ever heard of Scentsy? You know, would it be okay if I sent you a box? And would you do video on it? And she's like, oh my gosh, that'd be so cool. Yeah. So she totally did that. And she made a video for me. And I thought it was really neat. It's the only time I ever did it. Honestly, not much came from it. But it was just cool to see, like, hey, she's talking about me and my business. So I know that social media is a lot more involved now. There's a lot, so our social influences are a lot bigger now. So it might be a little bit better than it was back then. Sorry, I'm seeing that there's like questions coming. I'm not looking at questions because I will get distracted. So I will look at them at the end. So just know that if I'm not answering questions, I will get there. All right, so those are my 6 steps. And now I'm going to share some apps with you that I've used to meet people that are good. I know there's a lot more, but these are the ones that I've used. Nextdoor app. So if you live in a neighborhood and you download the Nextdoor app, the Nextdoor, Nextdoor, the Nextdoor app, it will tell you, it will connect you with everybody in your neighborhood. So you can like expand the neighborhood map to get like more people, but if you just want your like small neighborhood, you can do that. You can also make events. In our last base, we lived in Ohio. Nextdoor app was still kind of new. I'd logged in one day and I saw somebody going bowling. They're like, hey, does anybody in the neighborhood want to go bowling and meet other neighbors? And it was literally that day. And I looked at my husband, I said, hey, let's go bowling and meet some people. He's like, okay, let's go. So we went bowling that night. And these 2 people that were doing this event, they turned into our best friends in Ohio. And we did stuff all the time with them. And they started this neighborhood group. We called it the Nextdoor app group. It was on Facebook though, because nobody ever got a Nextdoor app back then. But slowly we started like making friends in the neighborhood. And by the end, I mean, we had a good group of neighborhood friends. And then, you know, it expanded out because, you know, other people they might not live in our neighborhood, but they lived in the extended neighborhood. So that was a really good way to meet people and to expand. But you got to show up for things. Like a lot of people probably would see bowling and be like, oh, it's today, I can't go. Like, oh, I can't go today, that's too soon. Like, just go. If you have nothing holding you back, go. So Nextdoor app. Meetup.com, Meetup app. Me and my husband have done a lot of meetups. We've done board game ones. We've done like drink ones, like we just meet for a drink, dinner ones. There was a couple that we did. They're hit or miss. Sometimes you can find a good one. Sometimes they're a little different, but meetup.com is definitely a good one. Eventbrite.com is a good one with events. So if you like want to know what events are going on in the area, that's a good one. Couchsurfing.com, that came up on my list. That's a little bit more extreme because you're inviting people into your house to stay the night. My husband and me have done it. You meet a lot of international people because a lot of these people coming through are international. So it's a great way to maybe market your business internationally. But again, you're inviting people into your house to stay the night. So this one might be a little bit over your comfort zone, but we're a little extreme. So we've met some cool people. Some people haven't even known English. So it's kind of one of those things where it's fun. It's nice to like hear other people's stories, but it is fun for meeting people. So those are the ones I have. And of course, you know, normal Facebook, Instagram, all those ways to meet people. But just get out there and mingle and, you know, put yourself out there. And I know sometimes in the winter, especially, I'm in Illinois now and it's dark at like 4 o'clock. Once the sun goes down, I do not like leaving my house. So I have to push myself a little extra to like go do stuff. But it definitely will pay in your business because then eventually people start knowing who you are. And even if they don't need Scentsy, like they might know somebody. When I moved here to Illinois, we have a neighborhood page, Facebook page. I put myself out on there. I've been like, hey, does anybody need samples? I've delivered samples and slowly like people will search that page for Scentsy. And I've probably had maybe 6 or 7 random orders and they are always from my neighborhood simply because they search for me and I'm the only person who really talks Scentsy on our page. I think there's one other consultant in the neighborhood, but I'm the one that comes up. I'm the one that pops up. So that's a big one. Also a Google page, make a Google page. That was a big one for me. I made a Google page. So when people search Scentsy, my Google page comes up and then it links to my website. And keep your website active. Like those people are going to your website when you meet them. So make sure all that is up to date with the current information about you and all that good stuff. So those are my tips. Let me look at questions. Let's see if we have anything. Step 5 was serve. Step 1 is meet. That one was just get out there and meet people you already know and just connect with them again. So a vendor group on Facebook, that is good. Sometimes it can get too overwhelming when it's a lot, but 11 seems pretty good, like a good number. 6 was collaborate, yes. Oh, look at y'all are answering them already. So the Google page is just a Google business page. So google.com and then start a business page. So when people, like when you search business on Google and it brings you their page and it has like their website, you can click on their website button, like all that, that's what it will bring you to. So it's more likely to bring you to your business page, your Google business page, than it is to your Scentsy business page for local. Like I know when I search Scentsy local, to me, it pulls me up number 1. All right, you guys have any other questions?
If you have any other questions, drop them in the chat. Nobody has any questions?
Also to add one thing, you know, when I moved to a different location everywhere, it's not that I just get involved with things and all that, but also I make it a point to make up sample packets. And I use the fact that I'm new as a reason to reach out to people. So like when I'm on these like neighborhood Facebook pages, it's not just like, hey, I'm Scentsy who needs stuff. I'm like, hey, I'm just moved. I've been with Scentsy for this many years. I'm relaunching my business here. You know, this is how I provide for my family. You know, I let them know that I'm not just like, hey, buy Scentsy from me. You know, I give them my story and I kind of try to stand out. And I let them know I have samples. I'd love to deliver them. I take a picture of the sample. I use pictures. I want them to see the product I'm giving you and not just like, you know, I want them to know that they're getting something good and it makes them want that. And most of the time, once you get samples in their hand, as long as you follow up, you're going to get an order from it.
I have a question for you because
Yes.
I know you've moved a number of times, obviously. Do you feel like you maintain a lot of your customers from previous locations, or do you pass them on to others in your downline who are in that area?
Honestly, I don't feel like I really don't like going to the post office and mailing stuff. Like that's hard for me. So I do better with customers local because I like delivering. I like being hands-on with them. So I will say that a lot of times, like I do have customers who still order from me from the past locations. And most of those are they're ones that just go to my website and order. Like they don't care to have that interaction. So for them, like they don't care paying shipping. Like they're like, I just need stuff. Just place this order from me, or I'm going to go order from your website. So those people will still order from me. Sometimes people will say, hey, I know I need Scentsy, but you're not in the area anymore. Can you put me in contact with somebody who is in the area so I can, you know, see if they have any parties going in. And at that point, I will send them to a team member. Or if I don't have a team member in there, which I don't think there's any move that I haven't had a team member, then I would just send them to somebody that I knew who was good with their business.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, if there aren't any other questions, this was fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing with us tonight.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
And she was supposed to speak on November 30th, I think, right? Because it was end of the month. And
yes,
it competed with Dan and Lacey's month end live, or Dan and whoever. So I don't even remember who did it with Dan that night. So we moved her. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight. And your office looks great. She just reorganized and moved her office.
I just moved my office this weekend, so it was all put together today.
So tomorrow we have Ascend Lounge, formerly known as Work It Wednesday, and then book club after that for those of you that are doing book club. And then next week, we are talking about the new catalog, preparing for the new catalog launch, which starts on February 1st. So we will see you then. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Karen.
Yep, thank you.
Bye-bye.